Okay, what we're going to do today is demonstrate the removal of a motor from a CGR press. We're going to give you the measurement sizes of several tools that you're going to need so that you have the right tools before you approach a project like this. Several different reasons that you may need to do a motor removal. Number one, if you're having any kind of problem with the motor itself. Other may be or is a maintenance issue occasionally. The bushings on the inside of the press between the motor and the flywheel, there's a bushing, and that has to be replaced periodically to start making a unique noise if it's going out, and we'll show you that in just a minute. Okay, you probably need a rubber mallet, claw hammer to separate the casing once the motor's unbolted. Okay, you're also going to need a socket set and a socket wrench, and it requires a little bit of force, so you may want a cheater bar, breaker bar for your socket, wrench to give it some leverage to get these broken loose. As you can see, the bolts that are going through there are pretty good size. Okay, anytime you're working on a press, one of the first things you want to do is unplug from the wall. Make sure it is not connected to power so that you're being safe. Initially, what you need to do is take your front cover off, and it just requires an Allen wrench for that. What's the size on that, Chris?
4 millimeter.
4 millimeter. Once the cover has been removed, the next thing you'll need to do is to remove the 4 bolts for the motor right there. And those are right there. And those are what size, Chris?
10 millimeter.
These are 10 millimeter. And then last, you'll be removing 4 of these bolts. These are 12 millimeter, one on each corner. Okay, our next step will be to remove this nut up here so that we can lay this down and get this plate ready to pull off.
Okay, so the next step is when you're looking inside the motor compartment coming off of the motor, the leads tie into your thermal relay right here. So to be able to remove it, you're going to need to disconnect it from your thermal relay. And it's this wire you've got right here. It's going to go all the way through. Your ground connects right in here to your transformer, and then it's going to feed through the back of this control box over towards the motor. So you'll disconnect it from the thermal relay in your ground, pull the wire through, and then your motor will be free. The motor's going to have, or inside this control box, we've got all of our just the finishing to keep all the wires nice and tight and not floating around in here. So these just pop off real easy. You'll see right here. You'll just sit here, just grab it, they pop out, just pull them out. And it gives you access to all of the wiring. So just disconnect it from the thermal relay and pull it through the back of the control board or the control box, and then you'll be able to pull it out, pull the motor out. Just a good idea whenever you're doing anything with the electrical on the machine, or really any piece of machinery, it's always a good idea to take some pictures. Get some real good pictures where you can see numbers and colors. So once you are needing to put it back together, you've got a reference, something to look back on to make sure that you are connecting stuff the way it's supposed to, so we're not getting wires crossed and potentially blowing fuses and different things like that. So.
Okay, once you're done, you'll have your 3 connections here. This is for a 3-phase motor. And here's your ground, yellow wire. So those are done. We have a picture of what it looked like before we started. We know exactly where they need to go to put them back and on to pulling this motor. Okay, so when you pull this motor, or when you pull this bolt, this is what is holding the tension of this mounting plate. So as soon as you pull this out, it's going to go down. You don't want your hand underneath this motor when we pull that out, because that's holding the support of the motor. It's going to come down, it's going to pinch your fingers right there, not going to feel very good. So it's pretty much a 2-person job. Pick this up, you got the mounting plate and the flywheel all at one time trying to come out of here. So you want to make sure you're ready for it. Recommend having cloth, because you're getting grease everywhere on your press as you're going around. Also nice to put cloth down underneath this so that you're not scraping up the motor. Won't affect the operation, but nice to keep things nice. Okay, got the flywheel partially pulled out, just like this, leaned it, roll it out just a little bit, and you'll see here's the motor side of the coupler. And there's the coupler bushing, and that goes into the oil pump on the other side of this. So here's the flywheel, motor, flywheel, coupler bushing, which connects then to the oil pump. So it's that bushing there, you know, depending on your use, that's one of the maintenance items of a press and does have to be replaced. She's moving. Okay, we've got the coupler off. Still tight on the flywheel, so we're still gonna tap it through there. Okay, got it out. Now you're gonna have this oil everywhere. It's grease. It's to prevent things from rusting, so